I want to welcome you to Identity Shift. The individual that we're interviewing today is Jesikah Alvarado. And oftentimes when I think of Jesikah, I think of individuals that I don't necessarily listen to what they say as much as I watch the way that they do what it is that they do. Because I'm a big believer that with our words, we can say one thing and really not be about it, for example. And this is an individual, though, that when I met her a few years ago was really just in a much different position, I'll share, than where she is at today. And however, the principles and the mindset and the beliefs have not shifted through, and the foundation has not shifted through her evolvement of success. This is why I'm extremely excited to welcome our guest today, that I think you should all feel honored and privileged to be able to hear from this amazing success that is virtually just getting started. Miss Jesikah Alvarado.
Yes, thank you for having me, Anthony. I'm
Yeah.
excited to share a little bit more about, my identity shift. So
Yeah.
let's dive right into it.
Let's dive into it. So, Jesikah, first, I want to start with, who were you before real estate? And, upon getting into real estate, what was those early identity shifts that you experienced in your life and in business?
Okay, yeah. So to start, I feel like we all have childhood dreams when we're in our upbringing. So for me, that dream was basketball. My entire high school journey, I would say, I was solely focused on basketball. I had personal trainers, so I was the exact opposite to what I am now. And it's kind of funny to just think about it and to think of where I was back then, just the focus. But one thing that stayed the same was the mindset, the discipline when it came to training, when it came to working out, going to practice, showing up when it came to game time. So that was one of the things that I carried into real estate that really helped me out a lot. But before that, that was my mindset, just really going in and trying to get that scholarship and take basketball to the next level.
Understood.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, when was that kind of that breaking point or that decision period where you were like, damn, basketball is not going to accomplish what it was that you wanted it to accomplish for yourself?
Right.
And then did you pivot directly into real estate? Had you graduated? Like, walk me through kind of that period of time.
Yeah. So what happened is I got the scholarship. I went to college for a little bit, Life Pacific University in San Dimas. I was able to play there. Well, I didn't even play. So what happened is, long story short, I got my scholarship revoked.
Okay.
And at that point, everything was crushed.
Everything shut down. Yeah.
Mindset was crushed because that was the only thing that I was worried about.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only reason why I was going to school, was to play basketball. So
that's why you woke up every morning.
That's why I woke up every morning.
Right.
Quite literally. So when that happened, it was like my world was crashing down. I had no idea what to do, where to turn. So at that time, I went back to junior college to try and work my way back up to a scholarship.
Okay.
I was playing at Chaffee College for a little bit and just not seeing any success or any growth there. So at that time, I just wasn't happy at all in college. I was depressed, working at Red Robin at the time.
Okay.
And I made the decision to drop out. This wasn't for me. Going to school wasn't for me. At this point, there was nothing that I wanted to go to school for.
Right.
So it just felt like a big waste of time.
I get it. Yeah.
So after that, my dad had always been in real estate. So I've kind of always been involved.
Sure.
Naturally, because dad, uncle had been in real estate. So I had that opportunity there. I decided to take it, go into the office with them. And what had happened is I ended up securing a buyer from Facebook, from a Facebook advertisement. Got like $5,000 from that, and ever since then, I didn't turn back. It was all in on real estate.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So talk to me about when you're first getting started in the business. What were some of your limiting beliefs, or what were some of those fears early on that you feel really held you back from, let's say, making $100,000 or more in a year?
Right. That's a really good question. And I would say the main limiting belief was the internal thoughts that I had held on to from my upbringing. My upbringing, it wasn't, the sweetest, the smoothest. During my upbringing or my childhood, during high school, the way I was brought up, I wasn't allowed to be myself. I wasn't allowed to speak how I wanted to speak, dress how I wanted to dress, really just be myself. You know what I mean? So for that, it correlated into my career for a long time,
Got
actually.
it.
I would say about 1-2 years.
Yeah.
I held on to those limiting beliefs, and I really wasn't able to tap into my true potential because of that.
Be unapologetically you.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the shift and what was the transition that helped you see the other side of that and really identify that, man, there's an identity shift right here in my life that's going to take me from, probably at the time, yay, I got a commission check of $5,000. This is great.
Right.
But really that's kind of catching me up, to what was the transition to, like, I want this to happen a few times every single month at minimum at a certain capacity and a certain threshold. What was that identity shift for you?
So I always wanted that. That was always my ultimate goal, was to be successful, be consistent with my actions the way I was in basketball, very disciplined, very hard-minded when it came to getting things done. So that intention, it was always that intent to go in and be very successful. It was just really that mindset that held me back. So what I would say was the biggest thing that helped me get through that was surrounding myself with like-minded people and people that believed in me, people that were able to tell me what I didn't really see was possible for myself. It wasn't until multiple people told me, like, hey, you're capable of doing this and that. You should really look at your situation and kind of redirect yourself if that's what you want to do. And that didn't happen overnight, but just some of those conversations that I have over time, that really helped to, like, say, hey, okay, it's time to wake up. This is what you have in you.
What's possible? It's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting you share that, right? I heard this the other day. We read the books, we attend the conferences, we read the report on what we're supposed to do, and yet actually really stepping into it and focusing on that it's something completely different. And I'm a genuine believer that you don't get the results that you've experienced if you don't go through that phase of, this is actually for me. This is not a fantasy or a fairy tale. What people almost see more in myself. They see more in me than I do in me, almost. Right. That reality.
Yeah.
That's a big aha.
That was my reality for years. It felt like I was doing all the right things. I was practicing, I was doing the role plays, I was making the calls, I was
with
going on the
like that, right?
Yeah, but it's so much more than that. If you don't truly believe in yourself, the results aren't going to transpire. It doesn't matter how much hard work you put in, it just doesn't work like that.
The results that hit.
And
we'll get into, and we can talk about it now. I mean, you just told me right now that you just bought a duplex, a cash flowing duplex. How old are you?
Yeah, 25. Just
it's what, like, and I always say this to you. You're 25. I mean, I share this with a lot of you. It's like, whatever you think is possible, and back to what you said, when you associate yourself with individuals that give you that little, almost like that little nudge in the back of the neck, you're able to accomplish so much more, so much faster in the time frame. I mean, like, you literally collapse what you thought was possible into like a third, sometimes even more than that, which is pretty cool. Jesikah, the other day you made a post on Instagram, and it was a post of you on a Saturday morning. I vividly remember it because I just know what I'm doing on Saturday morning type of thing. And so I was kind of easing into my morning, and, as I went to check my social media, you were on your way to the gym. You were in the background of your car. You were playing an audio, and the audio you'll probably be able to share with me your process there is what I want to know about for our listeners. The audio was positive affirmation, and it directly took me back to probably 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many years ago, where this was a non-negotiable in my life. Okay. Like there's other non-negotiables right now, but that was a non-negotiable, was what I was telling myself. That's one habit, because I know you were on your way to the gym, and I know you just told me about the running and all the other great things you do that I really believe associate a lot with the success that you're having. My question for you is, can you break down your 2 to 3 habits that are your non-negotiables in your life?
Yeah, most definitely. So I would say the main one is going to be, it might be slept on, but this is a huge, habit that if you implement, you'll see drastic changes in your life. So it's warm water in the morning with a little bit of salt, Himalayan salt preferably, and a squeeze of lemon. So that's the start. That's the first thing.
Done and done.
Yeah, try it.
Water, warm water.
Warm water. Pinch of salt, Himalayan pink salt.
Himalayan pink salt, yeah.
Lemon, just to start.
A little
it's gonna help.
Do you do the bottle of lemon, or do you just like cut a lemon? Or
yeah, cut a lemon.
Cut a lemon.
Get
okay.
the real lemon. It's
organic lemon. I'm sure. Okay.
Helps with hydration.
Wow, that's
helps
great.
Helps with your metabolism, skin, a bunch of other benefits. So I start with that.
Your skin is great, Jessica.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Let's go.
You know what? Let me backtrack a little bit.
Please.
First off, we always want to pray, have gratitude, be
okay.
thankful, give thanks to the Lord. So that's number one.
Okay.
Lemon water is going to be next, and then I am journaling. That's one of the habits in the Rise that you preach about.
Yep.
Journaling, making it clear what it is that you're looking to achieve. It's vital. It's very powerful. And
I've talked to you guys about this too.
Yeah.
Like I ask you, are you doing it or are you not doing it? You got to do it. I'm just telling you,
and that's one of the ways to break the limiting beliefs. That's what I did.
It is.
Along with the affirmations, reprogramming the mind. It's really what it takes, you know, because sometimes you're not going to have the outer community to be there and reinforce and reprogram your mind. It really comes down to you doing it for yourself.
Sure. Talk to me a little bit about the exercise. Talk to me a little bit about the running. Why do those extra things in your daily life, right? You're making money. You wake up, you went through the journal, you got your mind right. You're good. You got a set of skills. You're functional on the phone. I can hear you. With that set of functionality, the sky is literally, I don't even know if there's a limit, right? So it's one of those types of things. With what's to come. Talk to me a little bit about that though. Are there any ancillary kind of things that you're doing that really, diet that really you think have made a big difference?
Yeah. I mean, hiring a personal trainer was the best thing that I've probably done.
Okay.
Because I mean, newsflash, if we can have all the money in the world, but if we're not healthy, if we're not in good shape, we're still poor, So health, exercising, it's vital. It comes first. So that I really take serious every day, because at this point, it has to not be motivation. It has to be discipline.
I love it.
So exercising, doing the hardest thing first in the morning sets you up for the day, and it's powerful when you start your day off with some exercise and then you come into the office already just a bunch of dopamine. You're ready to hit the phones and
your mind's dialed.
You're just dialed.
Well, it's like I say, right? Like you're a high performing, high octane. Your body literally feels like you are a Lamborghini, like you are a lethal weapon. Like and that there's multiple skill sets that kind of go into that. And obviously there's a lot of work to be done. However, these aren't bad skill sets by any means necessary, right? They're great skill sets. So Jessica, it's often said that we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years. For Jesikah Alvarado, what does that 5-year vision look like? What are some of the items that you want to get checked off that list for you? And I want to share this because I want to share this with all of our guests. It's okay to be a little bit selfish. Like, what are Jesikah's desires?
Right. That's a little challenging for me to answer that because I've been reprogramming my mind some more. I've been listening to Ty Lopez a lot, and what he was just preaching about was take your 10-year goals and do it in 6 months.
Oh, I love it.
And I was just listening to that this morning.
Yeah.
So when you said that, it's kind of like, man, 5 years. I want to stretch, definitely just be out of the business, leading, attracting agents, showing them the things that I've done to see the success that I've seen in such a short span.
Right.
In cutting that, helping them cut that time frame shorter to what I got that achieved in. So that's my main focus, more rental property. And off the top of my head, that's the only thing that I could really think about. Just more rental property, helping more agents, and living life more, you know?
Love it.
Creating a better lifestyle for myself.
Is there any travel that you'd like to do?
There's a lot of travel
Talk to me about that.
I'm going to be traveling around the world. I want to philanthropy. We've got the PAC event that we're going to be doing in Mexico, so I'm excited about that. But down the road in 5 years, I can definitely see myself just traveling wherever I want, not even having to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just pick up and go.
I love it. I love it.
That type of deal.
Well, I one thing that I'm a big believer in, and you're going to be a guest speaker at Colorado, so it's awesome, is I'm a big believer in being able to just get out of your market and see the world a little bit. And you always come back so much more refreshed in business, and everything just kind of makes a little more sense in your hometown if you go see it being done in other hometowns, right?
Facts. No, absolutely.
So it's going to be good. You know, I love what you just shared right now as far as what you're building, and ultimately you're building your own empire, which is phenomenal. And within that, all of the great things that you're doing as far as even your lead generation techniques that you're using, because and this is what you're going to be talking about at Reignite, you're completely transforming the game right now, right? In lifetime, like it's happening right now, which is the type of mindset that I believe is required in order to not just be in the business, but in order to thrive over time in the business, because that's two different things. So I want to say, keep doing what you're doing, because it's really an inspiration to see.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep going.
So Jesikah, we want to get into, in conclusion, the final word. And for you, what advice would you give? What final word would you give to somebody that's maybe watching the episode and is really at a place in their life where they're looking to make their identity shift? They're in a place where they want to begin to lead more. They want to really begin to take ownership more. They want to, and also having the success of the duplexes and the income and all that good stuff. What is something that you would share with them to help them take that next step forward?
First off, I would say identify that you do want more is the first step. Identifying where you're not where you want to be and you aspire to be so much more is number one. Number two is going to be removing all of the negative energy, all of the negative people out of your life, and surrounding yourself with the opposite. People that support you, people that involve you in activities that are only going to be conducive and productive to your business, career, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, that's going to be the second most important thing. And the third thing, start reprogramming. Like I've been doing, affirmations, journaling, telling yourself what it is that you want to be. It's not rocket science. It's the simple things with consistency over time that really make the biggest impact and change.
I agree. And just, in closing, because I actually like the way that it comes up, but can you just walk me through really quickly? I want to give a tangible result here. Like year one, before getting into year one of the business, how much income did you earn?
So year one, I'd put me at about 35,000.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
so $35,000 for a 12-month span, and
Right.
then year two, what like roughly do you know where it went to?
Year two, I probably jumped it a little bit closer to 50.
50K. Okay,
50.
right. Year two, year three,
Year three, then
which
I
was
was
that
starting
last
to,
year or the
no,
year
no, no.
before?
That was the year before.
The year before, yeah.
So then I was pushing about 80.
80. Okay, so which is awesome. The
Yeah.
third year in, you're earning
Mhm.
$80,000, and most of your friends are in college or something like that,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
year four,
So
then
year
last
four,
year,
that was last year,
yeah,
180. Almost broke.
$180,000 within a 12-month span, which is phenomenal income. And I don't know where that ranks as far as, but I think the percentage of growth that we see is, 100%, 50%,
Right.
35% growth, which is awesome. So if we can, just sustain that over 5 years, what's the goal this year in income earned?
The goal this year is 650,000.
I love it.
Stretching, pushing.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And you know what? It's such a great goal to have. And I know that you have a lot of really good momentum capping early and doing all those things. So
Yeah.
I know you're in that, which is so damn cool. So I just wanted to give the listeners an opportunity to really hear that and really hear what's possible, because life really starts to transition and new identities are formed. So, but you have such a great
Yes.
foundation, so you can build upon it.
Yes. And it all starts with you and just making that decision.
Yeah, I just think one thing that I'm super inspired by is your foundation, and I think that if more people understood how important that foundation was, and really going through that first, like those formidable 3 to 4 years of just like, but I mean, I mean, tell me about that, right? I mean, what goes into that?
That's good, because some people will come to that
You've seen a
point
lot of people now.
and they'll drop off.
You've
they,
seen
they
it.
can't take it. Yeah.
You've seen it.
And it's a matter of pushing through those dry months, those dry years it can be sometimes, and you got to push through it. You have to.
And have more action.
And have more action. Yeah. And some people it's just not for them.
The
It's
correlation.
not for everyone.
I understand.
But for the people that it is for, just keep going. I'm telling you, when you feel like you want to give up or you want to quit or you want to slow down a little bit, it's right there. It's right there.
I know, right?
That's
It's
always
great.
it. That's always it. So just
I
keep
agree.
going.
I
Just
agree.
keep going.
Super good. Jess, thank you so much for being on the show
Thank you for
today.
having me.
This was just an honor for me. It was so cool. Again, full circle moment to see your growth, see your development. And I know that we're just scratching the surface. I'm excited
Yes.
about Reignite. If you want to see Jesikah live on stage, June 19th in Colorado, Reignite event. It's our national conference, we're super excited for it this year. There's plenty of great activities to help you connect with like-minded individuals like Jesikah. And so we want to introduce you to the PAC family. Would love to have you there if you're open to it. All are
Yes.
welcome, which is really cool. So if you can, so need a little bit of your help. If you're enjoying these types of interviews, if you're enjoying the motivation and the inspiration, I really need your help to just simply subscribe to what it is that we're doing here so that we can encourage and bring on more guests and things of that nature. So if you can do me a favor, subscribe, comment what you liked most about today's interview, what you liked most about what Jesikah shared, what you learned. That would be phenomenal, and always drop a like. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode of Identity Shift.